Hi, I'm your host, Larry Smith, and you're listening to Speak Out Podcast, a community outreach of the Lawrence County Career Technical Center in Moulton, Alabama. Today, my co-host is Straten Allen, a senior at Lawrence County High School and a pre-engineering drafting student at the Lawrence County Career Technical Center. Hi, Straten. Let's welcome our guest to the show.
Hey, Larry. We're excited to introduce our guest for today's podcast, Staff Sergeant Joshua Presley.
Staff Sergeant Joshua Presley was born and raised in Sweetwater, Tennessee, and enlisted in the Marine Corps on April the 13th, 2015. After recruit training in Parris Island, South Carolina, Sergeant Presley was stationed in North Carolina, Hawaii, and Okinawa, and was promoted to Lance Corporal in February of 2017. Corporal Presley attended the Enlisted Professional Military Education Corporal's course, where he was an honor graduate. In July of 2017, after attending the Advanced Mortarman course at the School of Infantry in Pendleton, California, Corporal Presley graduated and received the Gung Ho Award. Upon returning to the Marine Corps base in Hawaii, Corporal Presley was meritoriously promoted to the rank of sergeant. In December of 2017, Sergeant Presley deployed with his unit to Okinawa, Japan as section leader of the 81st Mortar Platoon. While on deployment, he conducted training with Republic of Korea Marines as well as with Filipino military forces within the area of operations for his unit in the South Pacific. He returned home in June of 2018 before again being deployed to Zamboanga, Philippines as part of Marine Security Element 19.1 in support of the Special Operations Task Force. While in the Philippines, Sergeant Presley held the billet of Sergeant of the Guard for 2 different military installations, supervised fixed site security, developing standard operating procedures for the installations and scheduling and facilitating over 631 convoys, ensuring the security of personnel and equipment. In February of 2019, he attended Basic Recruiter School at the Marine Corps Recruit Training Depot in San Diego, California. Sergeant Presley then became a canvassing recruiter at the recruiting station in Nashville, and from there was assigned to the recruiting substation in Huntsville, Alabama. In January of 2021, Sergeant Presley was meritoriously promoted to Staff Sergeant. After being promoted, Staff Sergeant Presley was appointed as Station Commander for Recruiting Substation in Decatur, Alabama. Sergeant Presley's personal awards include the Navy Commendation Medal, Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal, and Good Conduct Medal. Welcome to Speak Out, Staff Sergeant Presley.
Hey, well, good afternoon. I appreciate you all having me. It's an honor to be here. I'm really excited. Thank you all for having me.
Tell us a little bit more about your different jobs in the Marines.
That's a great question. So in the Marine Corps, we have over 350 jobs available, and it really just kind of depends on what you want to do. Pretty much anything you can think of, the Marine Corps has available for you to do. Anything from logistics to intelligence to supply, accounting, administration. We have mechanical jobs on the ground vehicles. We also have mechanical jobs where you can work on the helicopters, the jets, drones, and planes. We have one of the largest aviation fields out of all the branches. But like I said, pretty much anything you can think of, we have. But what makes the Marine Corps really great about when it comes to the different jobs we have available is that the Marine Corps, they don't expect you to come in and know how to tear apart a jet engine and rebuild it and it actually work, right? So what the Marine Corps does is they send you to a school, a formal school, to learn these things. They break everything down, we like to say Barney style, to the most simplest thing, and then make you a subject matter expert in that career field.
A great learning opportunity.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it also gives you the opportunity to earn certifications and the experience that transfers out into the civilian world, so that if you do want to go do something like that after your time in the Marine Corps, you have that ability to continue on that career as well.
So with all of that, what made you decide to join the Marines?
Oh, it's a great question. I've gotten this question a lot since I became a recruiter. Well, a couple different things that made me want to join the Marine Corps. I'll back it up a little bit. I got out of college in 2010 when I earned my bachelor's degree in sports management. I moved back home to Knoxville, Tennessee, and I was trying to get a job doing something in my career field in sports management. I originally wanted to be a sports agent or work in the front office of a professional sports team. Well, I couldn't get a job doing that because I had no experience. That's what a lot of people run into with a degree is you just don't have the experience to go along with it. So I ended up working some construction jobs there for a while. And actually, it was one of my good friends. He put the thought into my head of, hey, let's go talk to a military recruiter. So first one we went and talked to was the Marine Corps. Ended up actually being the only one because it kind of got my attention. But the main reason I wanted to join the Marine Corps was being able to travel the world and kind of get out of East Tennessee and experience different things that not anybody has the opportunity to really do. Two was I knew the Marine Corps was going to be able to give me experience and give me some things that when I do get out of the Marine Corps, I'll be able to utilize to go down that career path that I originally wanted to go to.
Well, you did choose the Marine Corps, but are different branches of military service a different match for different students? And how can you tell what's right for you?
That's a great question. And then the Marine Corps, it's not for everybody. The Army's not for everybody. But what I would tell anybody that whether you think you want to be in the military or not, because I didn't join the Marine Corps until I was 28 years old. I was in high school, never thought about it. Looking back, I wish I would have sat down with a recruiter and kind of found out what some of the opportunities really were. But like I said, no matter what branch you're thinking about, go sit down and talk to all of them. Because at the end of the day, you really want to figure out which one's going to suit you best to be able to make it most advantageous for yourself.
Well, this is really not one of our questions, but thinking about what you were saying, are you in contact with the other recruiters for other branches, and do you guys ever refer?
Yeah, 100%.
candidates?
Yes, sir. I'm very close with the Navy recruiter. Me and her was actually in Huntsville together, right next door to each other. So we've known her for about 2.5 years, as well as the Army. We're pretty good with those, and as well as the Air Force. And
That's cool.
We're all the time referring things, or say like, hey, this person come sit down with me. But they also mentioned the Marine Corps. They told me to give me your number and reach out to them.
Would you say social media is a big part of you being a recruiter?
I would say it is a pretty big part. Before I became a station commander, I used to utilize social media a whole lot, my personal one. Now I manage the social media for the actual recruiting station there in Decatur. But it's an amazing way to really get information out there. Because everybody has a cell phone nowadays, and everybody has Facebook and Instagram. So it's a great way to be able to show the different things that the military branches have to offer, and kind of get that word out there for people that are not really sure about what there is.
Well, you've already touched on this, but why should students consider the military as a career?
That's a great question. A lot of people, like I said, do not think about the military, such as myself. I said, you know what, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to get my degree. I'm going to go be a sports agent or, work in the front office of that professional sports team. But a great reason to look into the military as a career is, no matter what you want to do in life, it can give you the opportunities, or it can, I would say opportunities, but for lack of a better word, maybe enable you to help reach that ultimate goal that you have in life.
Yes.
Whether that's, you want to go to college is expensive. We have different ways to pay for college, able to get your degree, in whatever field you want to. And if you don't want to go to college, now you can go get hands-on experience doing a specific job that you want to do. And like I mentioned earlier, is getting those certifications.
Yes.
And it's not certifications through the military. Those certifications come from the Department of Labor.
Okay.
And that is what makes them so it's transferable out there to the civilian world. And all these employers, they recognize it.
Wow. Interesting.
But yeah.
Well, speaking of colleges and how you went, would you recommend other people to go to college before they join?
That's a tough question. I would say it's kind of dependent on the person, just to be honest with you. Me, looking back, I wish I would have joined the military first, because then I wouldn't have been in so much debt. Even though I had half of a scholarship, I still ended up paying a whole bunch of money, and took right about 10 years after I graduated college to be able to get it all paid off. So I mean, like I said, it kind of depends on the person. Maybe if you want to go the officer route instead of the enlisted route, then that could be something that you would obviously have to do is go to college first.
Then that makes me think this. Then, so for certain positions like becoming an officer, is it easier to or quicker to become an officer if you already have some schooling?
Yes, sir. So in order to become an officer, you have to have a bachelor's degree. There's also other certain requirements.
Okay.
Either your ASVAB has to be a 74, your ACT has to be a 1,000,
Wow.
or your ACT has to be at least a 22.
How old do you have to be to enlist in the Marines?
So in order to listen to the Marine Corps, for the age qualifications, you have to be at least 17 years old and a senior in high school. And the age cutoff is 28. You have to be in boot camp by the time you're 29. Now, for if you are a little bit over that, there are certain things that we can do, just depending on some waivers and things that we can get you in there.
Okay.
How old would you have, or how long would you have to spend in the Marines, like minimum and the longest time you can?
It's a great question. So there's a couple different answers to that, actually. The Marine Corps both has active duty and the reserve side. So with the active duty, you're going to have at least 4 years that you're going to be obligated to serve. Some jobs are 5 years, depending on that job, just because the job school is a little bit longer and they want to be able to get that full 4 years out of you actually doing that job. Now on the reserve side, it's a 6-year thing, right? So the reserves, 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks out of the year, in the summertime that you usually do your annual training, and that's a 6-year obligation.
Well, you've already touched on this as far as the military being a great place to find a career and to get the training that you need. But how, in addition to that, how can military service help you with your future?
Well, it can help you in a lot of ways, honestly. Like we mentioned, you're going to get that experience in a job field, a specific job field. But what I think is pretty awesome about it and how it can really help you out and really diversify you is no matter what job you do in the Marine Corps, yeah, you're going to do your specific job. But within that job you're doing, you're going to have different billets or different things you'll do within that job, right? So, sometime one billet may be more of a logistical billet for your shop that you're in. One may be more of an administrative thing. One may be on a supply aspect, right? But you're going to get the experience doing the administration, the supply and logistics, as well as the leadership and management piece of it, being able to lead, train, and mentor Marines. So when a person gets out of the Marine Corps, they have that ability to really take a step back and say, well, maybe I don't want to do that job I was doing in the Marine Corps in the civilian world, but I have all this experience doing all these other things that now I can go and put down on a resume, and it's a tangible thing that I can go do, and I know that how to do it, and I'm good at it. Does that answer your question?
Good point, yes.
Well, speaking of how it would help you with your future, what would students, as in myself, need to do to be prepared to join?
So, as in
schooling, physical.
Okay. Yeah, so great question there. As far as the schooling, what I will tell anybody, and anytime I ever go to high school and talk to any students and stuff, education is very important. Knowledge is power. So all you students out there listening, make sure you go to school, do your homework, listen to your teachers, because the more you know, just the more you'll just be able to do different things. For the Marine Corps, preparing for it, you can study for the ASVAB, but depending on what you get on the ASVAB, you have to be able to pass that to get in. The minimum score for the Marine Corps is 32 or 31. I'm sorry. Physically, you don't really have to prepare to join the Marine Corps. That's kind of my job and my recruiters' jobs. We not only do the administrative side of the paperwork part of getting you enlisted, But as Straten, as you know, we do our physical training sessions twice a week, once a month on Saturdays. We do a little get together, and our job is to prepare you both physically and mentally. And we do that, like I said, we do hold workout sessions and just train them to make them the most successful as possible.
How does the short term of service compare with a longer term of service in terms of as far as the benefits? If you just serve the minimum time or if you
you
go
kind of from
25 years,
retirement, or just a minimum of 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great question too. So if you do just the minimum, just the 4 years, and then you get out, which a lot of Marines do, honestly, just because of the ability that they have to go out and do certain things in the civilian world and be successful at it from the things they've gotten from the Marine Corps, you're going to have your education benefits that you're going to have. Like your GI Bill, you'll be able to take that out with you and utilize that for the rest of your life, whenever you want to use it. But after the Marine Corps, you don't really get a whole lot more, other than like the education benefits, and then just the things that you've gained while you were in to be able to utilize when you get out. Now, say you retire. At 20 years, you're eligible to retire from the Marine Corps. From there, you get a pension for the rest of your life. You get health insurance for the rest of your life, and again, the skills that you've learned in the Marine Corps.
You know, those base privileges that some people have I know military retirees that they do get their pension, and that also can go over to Huntsville to get groceries or different things on the base, and they get better prices.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
benefits like that.
I love that. When I lived in Huntsville, I went over there to the Arsenal all the time and shopped at the commissary.
Yeah.
You know, you get that for life while you're in the Marine Corps or in the military in general. You know, you can go to any military base, utilize any of those stores.
That's a great benefit.
Would the expectations be the same for all genders?
That's a great question there, Mr. Allen. So they're not the exact same, so to speak, but the Marine Corps has standards. And those standards are certain things for males and females, whether that's, you know, height and weight standards, whether that's, you know, physical fitness standards, whether it's, you know, hair standards. Marine Corps has standards, and they're fit for each gender, different genders. Does that make sense?
It does.
Well, how hard is basic training?
Well, you know, usually I go talk to people, and you know, they're like, "Oh, I can't do the Marine Corps. It's way too hard, right?" And in all reality, I mean, Marine Corps boot camp, it is tough, right? It is tough. It wouldn't be the Marine Corps if it wasn't. However, what I'll tell you is, being in our delayed entry program, such as you know, Mr. Allen is here, learning the knowledge that we teach you, the naval terminology, the different things that you're going to learn in boot camp, as well as coming to our physical fitness sessions, and us training you up and getting you where you need to be physically. It's not that bad. For Marine Corps boot camp, I think there's maybe 7 or 8 days that you actually do physical training sessions. But Marine Corps boot camp is more of a mental thing. It's really kind of taking you out of your natural environment that you've been into, you know, your entire life, and kind of throwing you into a situation when you have a drill instructor yelling at you, and you know, everything, you're getting counted down. Just kind of high stress environment is really the difficult part of boot camp.
You're learning accountability and
Yes, sir.
things like that in basic training.
Yes, sir.
In the beginning, we had talked about some of the places you had been stationed. Where all can you be stationed with the Marines?
Well, that's another great question. So, really, you can kind of be stationed anywhere. Certain jobs, some jobs, they're maybe you be stationed on an Army base, right? Just because that unit they're with works with the Army, or you know, Air Force, Navy, you name it. But the Marine Corps, the main bases that we have are on the East Coast, which is South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Washington, D.C. You have the West Coast out in California. There's a couple. There's one in Arizona. There's one in Hawaii, Okinawa, Japan has a couple bases, and now they're actually moving a couple units over to Guam. That's going to be air wing units.
What's your favorite place that you've been stationed?
Oh, well, my favorite place was Hawaii. Yeah, hands down. It was amazing, being from East Tennessee, landlocked, going to the beach, in the summertime every now and then with the family. Just being there in the nice tropical weather was something that I really liked, and something that I definitely got used to. Coming back here, it was a little bit of a culture shock, but Hawaii was definitely the best place.
And what advice would you give me being a student when it comes to career choices?
That's a great question. What advice would I give you as a student when it comes to career choices? Just in general, or in like the military or the Marine Corps?
We'll go with Marine Corps.
Okay. What I'll tell you is, I would say choose something that you have a passion for, right? Choose something that you really like to do, or something that you would like to pursue in life, right? Because if you get up every day and you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, right? So if you're going and getting up every day in the Marine Corps, you're going to do something you love, then you're going to enjoy it, right? You're going to gain more from it. And then two, if it's something you do like, and then you're getting experience in all those different aspects that we talked about earlier, even if you want to move on to something else, then you now know really kind of what you like, what you don't, what you're good at, and what you need to improve upon.
Right. Well, Staff Sergeant Presley, thank you for being with us today on Speak Out.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you letting me
We've really enjoyed it. I think that all the information you've given us will be really valuable to our students. And Straten Allen, thank you for being my co-host today.
Thank you for bringing me in.
You have been listening to Speak Out Podcast, a community outreach of the Lawrence County Career Technical Center in Moulton, Alabama. I'm your host, Larry Smith, and I would like to thank my co-host, Straten Allen, and our guest for today, Staff Sergeant Joshua Presley. Please check out our podcast on the Lawrence County Career Technical School website, and we hope that you will join us for future episodes. And we're out. Thank you.